Welcome to CFO Insight TV. The Eurozone crisis has made asset management a real challenge. Corporate treasurers and CFOs have to fight for yields. This is why I'm especially delighted to welcome to our CFO Insight TV studio Ronald van Hees. He's the CFO of Dutch health insurance company CZ.
Hi.
Hello. How difficult has it become to find suitable asset classes for your cash in this environment?
It has become very difficult because we are very limited to the number of asset classes that we can use. We took in the past the standpoint that if our board doesn't understand it, we do not invest in it. So for us it's corporate bonds, it's normal bonds, sovereigns and equity. And that's all. And for the rest, we invest in money market and deposits. So we keep it very simple, and that makes life a little bit difficult.
How much money do you have to invest, and how much has the yield you generate with that cash and assets? How much has it fluctuated over the past years?
Now we have around 4 billion on assets that we invest currently. The half of it is liquid because of the fact that we get around 12 billion in a year, and we have to pay 12 billion out on cost, on health cost. And so we need short-term cash, and then the yield is important for us, but not the most important thing for us. For us is important keeping our money, and not the yield on our money. So the return on our money is better. For us, a key factor. So credit risk on the banks, not having too much money at one bank, that's for us essential in the current market.
So you would even be willing to take a negative effective yield on your assets?
We prefer not, but if the market develops like this, with the current ECB measures and everything, and the market, how it's developing, we are willing to take negative yields. But we do not prefer it.
You said you don't invest in alternative asset classes. No. Why not? And what would need to happen? What would need to change for you to change your mind?
First, I have to go through a lot of regulatory issues. One thing in the past in the Netherlands, quite often companies invest in certain derivatives and other kinds of instruments that they really don't understand what the instruments are about. And that's something I don't want to happen. So I have to educate my board, I have to educate my risk management, my finance guys. Everybody should know where we invest in, how the instrument works, and then we could invest in a class. So we talked about reverse repos as an instrument. To have that whole cyclus of educating the board, educating my board supervisors, educating my finance staff and the risk management staff of what are the risks involved and what are we doing there. It takes a lot of time before you can invest in that kind of things.
Just before we started this interview, we talked about the Dutch government, and it abandoned its its latest healthcare reform.
Yeah.
Would you think, looking at the government, do you think healthcare as we know it is sustainable, and will it be reformed anytime soon?
Talking about risk factors, the government is the biggest risk factor for our industry. Last week they issued their government statement, and since then we have everyday quarrels in newspapers, in media about the plans that they have. They had such a ridiculous plans that people that were paying health insurance premiums could go up to 4 or 5 times payments that they do today. So the plans were ridiculous. Last Monday it was changed again. So there's our biggest risk factor. But if you look at what they also negotiated, the system will stay the same in Holland. Health insurance are the party that are negotiating the prices with hospitals, with doctors and everything, and they are the cause that the costs are getting down. That's the only purpose that the health insurance are there for. That's what the government say. We think a little bit different, but
I would now to wrap up this interview. I would now like to ask you 3 questions, and I would like to ask you to answer with the yes or no if possible. Do you expect next year's return on your assets to outpace this year's return?
No, definitely not.
Do you expect the current low, super low, ultra low interest environment to continue throughout 2013?
No, I'm expecting a little raise of interest rates, especially on the short-term cycle. So 20 basis points, 30 basis points, I'm factoring in.
And do you think governments will ever get a grip on spiraling healthcare costs?
I have to say yes, because we're working very hard on it. And on the other hand, I will be optimistic that it will be done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching.